before I get deeply into the number 12, I want to just put a message out there, primarily because I don't have a lot of time today because I have a lot to do. And this number 12 information is heavy. It's going to be a lot of information that I got to cover. But I want to just put this on your mind before you get your day started. So how many of you have ever had a near-death experience or have read about someone having a near-death experience? Now, if you've ever had a near-death experience or have ever read about someone having a near-death experience, there are some similarities that you hear in these stories. And one similarity is that they always see some form of light some type of way, a lot of times. I'm not saying every time, but many of the stories, and from my own experiences, though this is not about me, this episode, I'm not going to go into my stories here, but even in my own experiences, there's this light that you see when you're at that door. There's a door actually too that you see. And when you see that door, there's a light coming out of that door. And that door leads to what's called heaven or hell. I don't know what you want to call it, but this afterlife. Just call it that for now. So this door is supposed to lead to our afterlife, right? And what people don't realize is that this door has a lock on it. And this lock is governed and judged by love. But not from this perspective that you're thinking of. Not, oh, you're a loving person, okay, you can come in, you can make it to heaven, or you were full of hatred, so you're gonna go into darkness and hell. Not that type of perspective. See, love, we have to define it. And love is ruled by the vagina. No matter how you square it up. We all pass through a vagina to get here. And we all have to go through a portal similar to a vagina, which is what this light truly is, to get out of here. But you will be judged based on the criteria, or the scales of Libra is what it is, the scales of Libra. You will be judged based upon your love for whatever you were caught up into here. This is what will judge you. If you still have love for things here, I'm going to go into why I said love is ruled by the vagina in future episodes, so don't get upset if I don't cover it here. But if you're still ruled by love based upon things or attachments to things here, no matter what, when I say things, it could be anything, just whatever. I love getting on Facebook. I love writing in my diary. I love beating up motherfuckers. Or I love, traveling. Or I love my wife. Whatever. If it's something outside of the trueness of yourself, not your clothes, but the trueness of yourself, meaning that, it's not about you, but if you love something outside of yourself and you are attached to it more than you are attached to the love of yourself, you have what's called a lock here. You are locked here. This will turn into a prison. And the lock is governed by love. And even if some people manage to die and make it through the door, but they don't get the chance to really go to the fullness of the afterlife because there's many doors and locks in the afterlife. You have to master the number 12 to fully understand this. And I'm going to go into why. This actually goes into the story of why they took one of the signs out of the zodiac and made it into 12 signs. Because there's a lot that you have to go through. And it's based on love of the higher self and based on the love that you have for the shadow self or the material aspect. And the judgment is, did you find the balance in this life? And the balance this is all you, and you will eventually, this is all stored in you. So I can't tell you, I can't say, oh, you're not going to make it. I have no power to do that. No matter how many books I read, I don't care if I stayed on this plane for 1,000,000 years. There's nobody out there that can tell you because it's already pre-programmed in you. The only thing a reader or oracle can do is read the program for you if they may be a little bit more skilled in it. But they cannot tell you as to how long you got to do here, or if you are locked here or if you're not. How long will it take you to become free from this bondage that we call so-called life, which you notice is ruled by the number 12 or L. It's called life. It's a lock, believe it or not. And death is not something that actually you have to be weak. Like people think when you weak, you die. It's not the truth. It's the point I'm gonna make, and I'm gonna shut down and talk about the vagina in future episodes and what I meant by that. But I want to make this point. See, people think, oh, he was weak, he got old, he was weak, he died. No. You won't be accepted. This is from my own experiences now. You won't be accepted truly into that door unless there is a certain strength that you have mastered here on this plane that will qualify you to enter into that door. See, if you have, and even if you do, and when I say some people, they manage to die or so-called die, but they really don't die. They're really like, a lot of people are sacrificed here, believe it or not. And I'll go into that. And that's not really truly a death. That form of sacrifice that I'm speaking of, because what they don't teach you is that when you die that way, you are stuck here. The essence of you essentially just attaches itself to the thing that you loved here. So say, for instance, you died in the middle of a drug overdose. The essence of you, yeah, you may have died, but the essence of you is still attached to drugs and the people that you were maybe doing drugs with or whatever, or the drug that you was using and the other people that are using that drug. You're still attached to that. I'm just using that for an example. It could be anything. Say you died from your lover stabbed you to death. And you may have died, but you still have love for your lover. You're still attached to your lover. Period. So what's going to happen is that if you are to free yourself truly and to make it to that other side in truth, I'm not saying truth because you will be judged by yourself that's encoded in you, it's going to be based on the balance of that. It's not to say that you can't have fun here and not be attached to things, but at the same time, it comes down to your attachment to it and your experience in it. And a lot of us don't even get a chance to stay on this plane long enough to burn out a lot of the desires, because actually this plane is designed for you to burn out on sins, what you call sin. This plane is actually designed for you to burn out on that and still be alive. Your body is designed to be able to burn out on what you may consider sin that deteriorates you, whether it's drugs, sex, whatever. Your body is designed to burn out of that. And then you're entered into a true heaven once you master that karma. So where I'm getting at is that since we're in a major lock right now, a major land lock, or actually a time lock, because we are in the 20s or the 2000s, we are now in a time that the portal has closed. Meaning that we used to reincarnate back in about 20-year cycles, believe it or not, in the 1900s. Now that we've entered into 2000, especially 2020, depending on the scenario, and there's a lot of things that you can look at on this, but the bottom line is the average reincarnation rate is going to be like this. It's either going to happen real quick, within 9 years, you're going to come right back, or you're going to have to wait about 60 years or more to come back based upon this new time shell that we are in. So this is a new lock. So what this is going to do is that this is going to decrease the human population. And over time, probably in the next 1,000 years, we will not be able to reincarnate back. Period. There will be no vessels and shells to reincarnate back here, period. Unless those of you that have mastered a certain level of existence here, and that's why I'm putting this information out about the number 12, and your spirit is able to hover long enough, and you're able to exist on that other plane long enough to where we recycle back and have vessels to reincarnate back into. you will be able to come back, which is the ideal opportunity, because what you're going to find out once I get deep into this episode, dying is not really a way out of here, believe it or not. So even when you go to heaven, supposedly heaven or hell, you still just in another reality or another stage, like another level to a game. I hate to call it, it's not really a game actually, but it's a level to infinity is what it is. And until you burn out of certain desires, you're just in another level of it. So you still will be caught up in either watching reality, watching your grandchildren, or watching stuff that you left here in this reality until it burns out, meaning that you will be responsible though. Not watching it for fun, watching it as a punishment almost, because of the fact that we didn't master this reality. So I'm going to come up with a little bit more and go into why I said love is actually governed by the vagina. Males cannot truly experience love unless they experience it through a vagina. So you come through your mama's womb, and that's why a lot of times men are close to their mothers, but then when their mother passes, they may get closer to their wife or their woman or whatever, and then something happens in the relationship, and then now they depressed, and and they don't really have anything to attach to, so they they go out here and and get a bunch of girlfriends because they need a vagina to feel that love, to experience that love. You see, and the balance of that is the mastery over understanding what the vagina even truly is and what love even truly is, and mastering that, because you can ascend. The goal is to ascend past love, believe it or not. To ascend. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down there and come back up with more. As always, stay studying and reading and stay focused. Have a good day.